Captain says we're gonna bring the victim down right now, wire and all.
From leading the Chicago Fire since its debut to taking a leave of absence, Taylor Kinney's Severide in Chicago Fire is one dude everyone adores and just can't let go of. No wonder his sudden leave left fans feeling a little worried, to say the least. But don't worry, guys, it's not a goodbye. It's more like you'll see him again, but no one's sure when. After it was revealed that actor Taylor Kinney was taking a short leave of absence from the show, Chicago Fire fans have been waiting to discover what happens to Firehouse 51 favorite Lieutenant Kelly Severide. Executives on the NBC drama already devised how Severide would depart in their scripts, but did not specify how the character would leave the show. It also needed to be clear when the actor's final episode would air. Fans may have already suspected Severide's departure from Firehouse 51. It's unclear whether Taylor will appear in the episode titled Damage Control. Last week's episode ended on a possible cliffhanger, implying Taylor's exit has already aired. Severide informed his wife Stella about a message he received about Captain Van Meter from the Office of Fire Investigation, and Stella, confused as ever, asked him what he'll do about it.
Oh my God.
He's losing a lot of blood and the medics can't work on him until we get him out of that mess.
So, in a way, no one knows what's going on right now. And to make matters more confusing, he hasn't addressed that he's taking a break either, which is very bizarre. Mostly, when celebrities depart from shows or even take a break, it's kind of a protocol for them to address it on their social media or in an interview. But Taylor has genuinely left his fans in the dust. We know how the internet works in a situation like this. The fans were quick to go through every single scenario possible and come up with their conclusion. Taylor Kinney has been part of the show for 10 years, so of course his departure was a big deal. The reason given was, and I quote, a leave of absence to deal with a personal matter. Now, the series is in the middle of airing its 11th season, and the writers aren't too happy since they have to rewrite and explain his character's void. The show, network, and cast have yet to comment on or explain this piece of abrupt news. The network hasn't updated on Taylor's reason for leaving or when he will return to the show. This is the latest shakeup for the firefighting drama show since Jesse Spencer decided to leave the franchise. So I understand why the fans have this fear of Taylor leaving as well. Jesse left after 10 years of playing Captain Matthew Casey from 2012 to 2021. So the show has been around for a cool decade. This also means that Taylor's character, Kelly, is involved with multiple storylines of the cast. It'll be a task for the writers to write a season without Severide and make it seem realistic. Listen, the guy is leaving for a bit. I don't know the circumstances, but he is. And so we gotta ask the difficult questions. How will his character be portrayed? Will he suffer a deadly injury, leave the department, quit the service at the 51? The possibilities are limitless. Unfortunately, the details behind Kinney's return to the program are as vague as those surrounding his exit. Fox News said that the show and the actor's representatives have declined to elaborate on the personal matter. Makes sense. And so, the length of time Kinney is away depends entirely on the private affair. As things stand, the actor's absence might last anywhere from 5 to 15 episodes. This means that the writing staff will have to rewrite several of the next episode's scripts to account for Severide's absence. Several episodes have already been shot, and others are now in development, so it will be interesting to see how things develop. It is unclear if the actor will leave then, or if it'll take a few weeks to set the stage for Kinney's exit. Regardless of what happens in his professional life, I wish the best for him in his personal life. We all know what happens when a character like Severide leaves a show. The fans lose their minds, and in this case, fans were in tears. But they also put their heartbreak to use and and came up with elaborate theories on how the creators can explain the absence of Lieutenant Severide. One Reddit user was convinced with how the creators would deal with Kinney's leave in Chicago Fire, that Severide's disappearance would be simply him going elsewhere to focus on a case away from his wife and colleague, Stella Kidd, as Stella or Bowden will just explain it in a subtle way that Severide is away dealing with stuff. And if you guys remember, the same happened with Stella in Season 10. So who knows? The creators might just use their old cards again, and then in one episode, Severide would just pop back up later when his personal matters are sorted. Or maybe Severide could go to work with the OFI, having Kelly Severide temporarily step down from his role as a lieutenant in CFD's Squad 3 so that he can assist the Office of Fire Investigation is the simplest way to say goodbye to him. The majority of the action in Fire takes place in Firehouse 51. It really depends on the crisis in the end, but another fan doubted if the creators would play their old tricks when it comes to dealing with Kinney's absence. I mean, would they show Severide has totally stopped talking to Stella? It wouldn't sound right and just ruin our happiness. They just got married, and all the fans want is to see Stellaride happy. So it wouldn't shock me if they claim that Severide is out doing his investigation duties by himself without Stella's help. Because the task is hazardous, he wants to keep his wife out of harm's way. If this theory is indeed right, it will make sense because you can expect such things from Severide. After all, he's a true gentleman and one caring fella. But let's take a look at another theory. One fan hopes that Kelly's departure will be brief and he'll be back in no time. I wish that too. We're all praying for Kinney to resolve his personal issues quickly so he can come back again without missing out on the newest seasons. But there are some party poopers who aren't optimistic at all and believe that a bigger plot twist for the lieutenant is on the way, confirming his departure from the show for good. One fan was concerned after this week's episode. In the man of the moment, the man that Kelly and Sylvie Brett, played by Cara Kilmer, saved from death might stir trouble in the future. On Twitter, one fan speculated Neck Arrow Man is about to cause all kinds of trouble for Kelly and Sylvie. Meanwhile, some fans believe Kelly's departure will be explained by his meeting Matthew Casey, played by our very own Jesse Spencer, in Oregon. So, a reunion of the Leavers? Fun! If you think about it, Kelly opened up about missing his friend in this week's episode, so this storyline can work out. If that's how the creators would end our Lieutenant's chapter from the show, then neither I won't complain, and nor would the viewers. So how would it go? Hey Casey, my bud, I missed ya, and I've got some news to share. Well, Taylor's not here anymore. Speaking of Casey, he'd be shocked to hear that. So you and I must wait to see how the newest episodes will unravel. And hopefully, the next time you tune in, I'll have much more to spill. Well, there you have it on how Chicago Fire's Kinney will say goodbye to the fans from the show.